Who am I?
Yes.
I'm the goddamn rebel dread. I'm really looking forward to nicing up the place with some heavyweight bass. The Don Letts has never been, so now it's my turn.
I'm Don Letts, aka the Rebel Dread, all the way from the UK. Viva Mexico!
You know, I'm trying to make the world a slightly better place than it is through music, because that works for me. You know, I'm a product of an example of the possibility of what music can do. I think people forget that. You know, it's not just about selling you shit. Music can be a tool for social and personal change. Change me.
Okay.
Damn, I'm as old as rock and roll. I was born in 1956, and I grew up on music that helped you to be all you could be. You know, it wasn't just about selling your shit. It was music that was about changing your mind, not your sneakers. Punk for me is an attitude. You know, a lot of people think it's about fast and furious guitars and that it started in the late 70s in the UK. That's rubbish. That was one incarnation of a spirit and an attitude that has a lineage and a tradition that started way before 1977. And it's not even just about music. You can find a punk rock attitude in all expressions of art. You know, I think it's very important that people understand that punk did not begin and end in 1977. It's not something to look back on, it's something to look forward to. I'm a product of British subculture. I mean, I was actually part of the first skinhead movement. And when I say the first skinhead movement, you have to understand, we're talking about the fashion version, not the fascist version that came along in the 70s. People don't realize that the first skinhead movement was the first multicultural subculture in the UK. It was a mashup of white working class kids and Jamaican rude boys. And it was a beautiful thing when it started. But it got hijacked by the right wing, the National Front. And then it starts to attract a lot of negative press. This is the image that gets spread around the world. And here we are today where, you know, skinhead's got a pretty bad fucking name. But that's not how it started. Check my documentary if you don't believe me. You're talking about me DJing in the very first punk rock club, which started January the 1st, 1977. And it was so early in the punk rock movement, there were no British punk records to play. So I played what I like, hardcore Jamaican dub reggae. Lucky for me, punks loved it. You know, they liked the fact that the lyrics were about stuff that they could relate to. They liked the fact that it was very anti-establishment. They liked the bass lines, obviously. Oh, and they loved the weed as well. I'm a product of the vinyl generation, yeah. I don't like to think of records as a collecting thing. It's just part of who I am. You know, music made me the man I am today. And obviously along the way, I've accumulated X amount of vinyl. In fact, 20 years ago, there was a big fire and I lost most of it. I've got to be honest. I mean, now I started to rebuy things, but it's fucking expensive. But at home, I have my vinyl collection, I have my 2 turntables, but on the road, I'm digital. I use CDs on the road. Because when I'm DJing out and about, it's a reggae-based set, and a lot of the new reggae music doesn't get pressed to vinyl. 70% of new reggae doesn't get pressed to vinyl. So if I only played vinyl, you'd never hear hardly any new music.
Okay.
And you know what's great about the CDs as well? My back doesn't hurt anymore. Vinyl, you know, it's a beautiful thing, but ultimately, it's not about the medium, it's about the content, really, you know?
Yeah, the music.
And Don Letts is not the story. The story is about the culture that made Don Letts.